A very good noon to all of you. It is
Afternoon, sir.
good noon, good noon. It is 12 o'clock. Looking at, I told you. Now it is good afternoon. 12:01. Now it is 12:01. Good afternoon. I want to teach you what to say. When it is 12 o'clock, it is good noon. Okay. Today, we will go. You see, tomorrow you will have the class test. Tomorrow you will have the class test. All should get ready with the OMR sheet. OMR sheet. Okay, this is to practice. Okay. And one thing I want to tell you that today chairman has sent a message about the reopening of the school. School will be reopened by November 1st. November 1st. So if anybody is abroad, I don't think nobody is abroad. If anybody is abroad, yes, one or two are there. If anybody is abroad or out of state, I have told Shubhambal directly, okay. Ashish, so those who are coming to the hostel, they may contact the school office. Number is sent to you. Number is sent to you. And reserve your bed. As it is told, bus service will not be, as the number of students are less, bus service will not be in all the places. Maybe from different points, buses will be there. So it is not, and another thing is that there are restrictions for the passengers also. So you check your facility, and if there is an inconvenience, utilize the facility that is given either in the bus or in the hostel. So you have to decide and you have to contact, you have to inform by message to the school office number. So do it properly. Otherwise, you see, when we begin the classes, so it is very important. It is very important. Okay. Okay. So today we are coming to the poem, Keeping Quiet. Keeping Quiet. A very beautiful, very short poem by Pablo Neruda. And we have studied the poem in a very detailed manner. Already we have studied in a very, very detailed manner. So, in this poem, what we have to see is that the poet asks the people to have a pause, to have a stop. A stillness is requested. People are worried about many things. People are busy in their life. People are busy in their life. So the poet or people are troubled. People are suffocated with many things. People are worried about corona. People are worried about loneliness. People are worried about the present situation. People are worried about not having offline classes. So many problems we are facing. Many problems we are facing. So the poet tells us to stop for 12 seconds. He says, I will count 1, 2, 3 to 12. Let the whole world may make a stillness. Stop. Stop. So he tells, what does it mean, the stillness? What does it mean, silence? What does it mean, keeping quiet? I will read it. You see, for once on the face of the earth, I will read the point. Once on the face of the earth, let us not speak any language. Let us not speak any language. He says, let us keep mum. If you speak language, there will be separation. You will be in different groups. So that will create some kind of distortion in the life of the people. So let us not speak even. And he says, if we stop for a moment, it would be an exotic moment, underline. It would be an exotic moment. All the rushes will be stopped. Pin drop silence is an exotic moment. Pin drop silence is an exotic moment. Isn't it? All on a sudden, everything stops. It will be an exotic moment. Because now we cannot think about a silence. For me, it is an exotic moment about you. When you come to offline classes and when you sit on these seats, I feel an exotic moment. What do you know? Children, how can they sit without mobile in the classroom? Children, how can they sit without a laptop in the classroom? Aditya, I feel an exotic moment. Whether they will get concentration or not without the mobile. Just a moment. So, you see, it is an exotic moment. Here the poet says it would be an exotic moment when all the people stand still. And which are the exotic moment? He says, the fisherman is not going to the ocean. The fisherman is not going to the sea. What will be an exotic moment for the whales and fishes? They would be able to swim in the water freely. Otherwise, they were thinking about the sound of the boats. They were looking at the fishing nets. They wanted to run away from the fishing net. Otherwise, they would catch. They were worried. Fishes were worried. Whales were worried. You see? So, when everything stopped for a moment, all the fishes are happy and the fisherman is in rest. You see, fishermen in the cold sea would not harm the whales. Whales mean the fishes. And the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. You see, the people who make salt, Dundee, isn't it? Dundee, do you remember class 10? Do you remember class 10, Irfan? Dundee? You don't remember. Grishma, do you remember Dundee of class 10? Mahatma Gandhi's Dundee March. Aishwarya, Dundee March, Mahatma Gandhi's Uppu Satyagraham, isn't it? So people collected water, sea water, and dried, and from there they made salt. Non-cooperation movement. You should remember freedom fight. You are living in a free India. You are living in an independent India. How did you get independence? How did you get freedom? So, when these people collect collect salt with their hands, what will happen? The salt may make wounds on their palms, cuts and wounds. Kallupu, isn't it? When you use the salty crystals with your hand, it will be cut. So these salt would create cuts and wounds on your hands. And if you stop for a moment, the people will stop their work. The people will stop their work and their wounds would be cured. Their wounds would be cured. This is an exotic moment. This is an exotic moment. You see? The next one you see? People are busy with war. I will kill you. I will destroy. I will defeat the other country. The whole countries will be under my feet. Wars, gaseous war, cold war, bombarding, everything. You see, various wars. And what does it make? Victory without survivors. Every country has a lot of gaseous bombs, nitrogen bombs, and every country knows that if each country uses their weapons, the whole earth will be demolished. Nobody there will be to live in the world. He says, stop. Blood of the human being is on your dress. After the war, fight between people, blood is sprinkled on your dress. Your dress has become red. Aparna, your dress has become red with the blood of the people. And the poet Neruda says, change your dress. Wear white clothes. Meghna, wear white clothes. Not I say. Neruda says, when you wear the white clothes, you will forget about the enmity. You will forget the enmity. You will forget the vengeance. You will love each other. When you have love, you will join your hands and you will walk freely and joyfully. Think, stop a moment. Stop a moment and think about your brothers and sisters. So, when you stop for a moment, this 12 can be 1 to 12 o'clock hours. It can be January to December, 12 months. In this way, it can be, it is a fullness. It is a fullness of time. 12 is a fullness of time. When it is 12 hours, a clock, its cycle is completed. When it is 12 months, a year is completed. So it is a fullness of time, a complete time. Complete time. So that is why he says, let me count 1 to 12. It is a very meaningful poem. When the stillness is there, peace is there, peace. Then comes, you see, then he tells, when I say stillness, when I ask you to keep silence, there may be a confusion of thought among you. There is a chance of thought confusion among you. My dear Pranav, who are you? I don't, if you don't change. Adul, how are you, man? Adulji, how are you?
Sir, I am good, sir.
I am good. Then why are you sitting in darkness, man? Open the video. You look at my face, man. Elvina,
Yes,
so sorry. Okay, Elvina, sit peacefully. You lie down there. Okay, Shubham, I am waiting for you, man, for long months. I am waiting to see you. And you are closing your video. What a man you are. Why don't you understand my love towards you, man? Okay. You see what a very he has getting ready to come to Kerala, cut his hair and all these things. Okay, like that. Okay, you see Ashish also getting. Am I right? Ashish has already. Ashish's mama has already packed his petty 1 month before. Okay. Now here there can be a confusion. Stillness means whether it is death. Stillness means whether it is death. He says stillness does not mean total inactivity. I have not, you see, I want no truck with death. Underline. I don't want to have any truck, any confusion with death. What I want should not be confused with the total inactivity. Don't think that I am talking about death. No, it is not a total inactivity. An inactivity for a moment, for a brief time. If we are not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves, of threatening ourselves with the death. So he says, I am not talking about the total inactivity. I am not talking here about death. After death, the people become silent, isn't it? After death, people become calm and quiet. We have seen what an experience of going to oblivion. Do you remember? Getting into oblivion, deep water. Oh, sir, that revision is not yet come. We have studied. Getting into oblivion, getting into unconsciousness. We do not know anything what is happening around, and we are calm and quiet. Being in the ICU, what a wonderful experience. Being in a critical ICU, whatever you ask, you will get. Whatever you ask, you will get, because people outside think that only for 72 hours he is living. Whatever he asks, we will give. When you ask one tender coconut, people will give you 12 tender coconuts. Clear now. Nurse will come to the door and say, patient ask one tender coconut. She will say 3 tender coconut. One I can also drink, isn't it? And you will buy 5 tender coconut, Irfan, and you will go and give. Isn't it? So, a calm and quiet place where you can lie down in the AC peacefully. Going into oblivion, falling into oblivion, where unconsciousness, where you never experience any difficulties. See, here the poet tells about to have that, he says, when there is stillness, people will forget everything and they may put on a white dress. They may become Magnus, isn't it? They may put on a white dress. All the faults will go out and their mind will be, their heart will be filled with the positive qualities. Brotherhood, brotherly love, that will give birth to a new world. And he says, inactivity, that means stillness, can also produce positive result. He says, if you keep a seed under the soil, it is inactive, it is passive, it is silent. But from that silence, there comes a sapling. If you keep a seed under the soil, for some time, it will be as it is. Next day, sapling will not come. Reina, if you keep a seed under the soil, next day you won't get a sapling. Reina, what does it do? She was doing last year. She, during the time of Corona, she had some good habit of preparing a kitchen garden. She was nurturing a kitchen garden, and she kept the seeds and she was watering, and every day she goes and digging. How is the seed? How is the seed? How can the seed grow? She takes it and she looks, oh, you didn't grow. Oh, I expected a sapling. And she stopped her kitchen garden. You see, when the seed lies under the soil for a period of stillness, it can produce a life. It can produce a life. It can produce a sapling. In the sense, if you keep your mind silent, you can also produce something new. That is why the poet says, I will count 1 to 12. You may please keep silence. What is written there? Perhaps the earth can teach you, the planet can teach you. When everything seems dead, later proves to be alive. The earth can teach you how many seeds are there under the soil. How many seeds are there under the soil? After a period of stillness, it can give you a sapling. The earth even teaches you. The earth even teaches you. Now, in this way, the poet tells the people the value of, the meaning of what he said. Stand still, be quiet, being silent. Making the people understand the value and importance of being silent for a moment. He says, now you understood what is the value. Now I am going to count 1 to 12. He admonishes the world. He admonishes the people. He advises the people. He tells the people to keep silence for 12 minutes. So this is the content of the poem, Keeping Quiet. So for this exam, you will have these 3 lessons. 20 marks MCQ will be there. 20 marks. All should have OMR sheet. 20 MCQs. Passage will not be this time. This time there will be no passage. Last time I gave you passage. In the next exam, I will give you 1 passage. Okay, passage. So this time we are giving concentration on the lesson-wise MCQs. So read the MCQ properly and try to shade the bubble properly. In the last time, I could see some very few. I'm talking about the 3-4 people only, not only from ABC, 12 ABC. I could see 3-4 students shabbily shaded. Shabby way. That means otherwise it is not clearly shaded. It is assessed optically, OMR, optically. So if you don't shade properly, your OMR sheet and responses will not be able to be read by the computer. You see, if you understand the value, importance of that, you will be serious. You see, your exams will be of 1.5 an hour, maybe 10 o'clock to 11:30 or 11:30, or 9:30 to 11. Whatever be there, 1.5 an hour. After that, your responses should be checked. It will be read by the, each one will be scanned, and each one's mark is to be sent. So it will take time. So there, your clarity of, that is why I conduct this OMR sheet. Clarity of the answers should be there. When you make it, kindly do with a scale. Keep a scale so that the line shall not be mismatching. Keep the scale one after another. So the straight line, you will get it. So when we conduct each and every class test, it should be properly, seriously done. 7 o'clock, all should be ready. 20 questions, 20 minutes, 5 minutes for taking the image and send the photos. Okay. So OMR sheet before the examination, you can complete that, name and other details. Okay. That you can make it. And post with the registered mobile number. If anyone is using any other mobile, after sending the message, send a message of your name, so that I will be able to recognize it. Clear now? Okay, these are about a class test. Since we say class test, don't become very silly. Each and every, we are trying maximum our level best to have one exam one day. So you see, each one should take that much importance, care for class test, and don't miss the class test of a, you are not missing it. One or some other time I could see one absence. Don't miss any class test. Any class test. This is the exam, term 1 exam, where we have to score the marks. Where we have to score the marks. I told you, once again, I tell you, this is important, because if any second term exam is not conducted, our first term exam marks will be counted. On the basis of the percentage of the term 1, marks will be taken for term 2. CBSE has already told. And we will not do it, because your term 1 marks are going to be uploaded. So the mark will be with them. They will make it. So this is very important. So all should be careful. Second thing, all should complete your assignments and projects by 31st. Because assessment will be there. Internal assessment and practical 50% mark will be there. So your work should be shown there. Then only the practical marks will be uploaded. Your practical mark is 30 marks. Out of this 30 marks, you see physics Economics 20 marks, politics 20 marks, psychology 30 marks, fashion studies 30 marks, banking 40 marks, then accountancy 20 marks, home science 30 marks, IP 30 marks. All these are practical marks. English 20 marks, applied maths 20 marks. All these have the internal marks and practical marks. Out of this mark, 50% will be in term 1, 50% in term 2. So if you have to get the practical marks in front of the external teachers, you have to produce your work. Simply, they won't give the mark. So you have to be very careful. Okay. So that should be completed before October 31st. Please complete. I think all the subjects. If any subject is not given, please ask the teacher, because you want the practical marks. Ask the teacher to get the topic and do the work and complete before October 31st. After that, we have to go for the model exams and all these things. So complete your work and finalize and keep it there before October 31st. I ask you, if you did not get any work, you ask the teacher, we want the work, we have to finish before October 31st. Get the project, get the work, finish it. And if anything is to be completed, do it in the daytime. Little bit. I am not asking you to keep away the studies and do the work. No, 1 month is there. You can do one page, two pages and make it. Make your portfolio complete, finalize it and keep it. All these things are needed. Portfolio. We are here talking about the studies. All the teachers will be talking about the revisions. But these things are very important. Your portfolio, make it complete and keep it separate. I will give you, after the reopening, I will ask you to bring the things. Portfolio, internal grade assignments, work experience, general studies, physical education. 3. Then all the investigatory projects or the assignments, English assignment, maths assignment, accountancy, all these assignments should be ready. IP project, home science project, fashion studies project, all these psychology project, all should be ready. All should be ready. So get the things ready. Okay. So these are the things to be noted. Then